Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we will be learning about the colon-chyma tissue. You all must have heard the term first time in grade 9, and since we have already touched upon the parenchyma tissue, we have done meristematic tissue, so this is the next tissue that we are going to talk about in this video, and very simple and easy to understand with the way I'm going to explain it. So let's begin. So guys, before we begin, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you are notified whenever I'm uploading a new video. This will definitely going to help you with your exams. So please don't forget. So we begin with the first and foremost thing to learn about a tissue, and that is its location. Now, why are we talking about the location first? Because when you know the location, what is the function of the tissue will gradually become clearer to you. It will help you to understand as compared to the location what is going to be the function. So whenever you are learning about tissue, if you know the location, you will be very you will be very clear with how to remember about the functions. So where is it found? It is found in the epidermis, the very first layer of the plant. The thing that you see from the outside is epidermis. In our body also we have, like, the skin. This is just like epidermis. So what you're looking, when you're looking at the plant, the first layer of tissue that you're seeing is epidermis. So it is located right below that epidermis. Then you will find it in the leaves, like I have shown here, in the leaves, and in the petiole. Petiole, I hope you know from your junior classes that it is that tiny stem or branch like thing that attaches the lamina to the node or to the stem, that is the petiole. It is found around the veins. And if you really want to observe a colon-chyma tissue, you must pick up a celery. Celery is the best example to observe colon-chyma tissue. It has ridges. The many a times you take out those strings, strings from the stalks of celery. So what are you actually pulling out? You're pulling out the colon-chyma tissue. I hope now you are able to understand. So please do remember the location. It is present in the stem. It is present in the petioles. It is present in the leaves, below the epidermis, near the veins of the leaves. So you can check that the petiole here, this is the petiole, and you can see the stem is also very tender. It's green in color. So you will find colon-chyma tissue here. This is the second plant, and this has a long petiole. Again, you will find colon-chyma tissue here, which is helping it to stand properly. Another plant, green plant, again, it's not woody. So why is it maintaining its position or standing erect? Because of colon-chyma tissue. So you can see that it is present in most of the softer parts of the plant, which require not too much of a strength but a little bit of strength. Like you see the leaf, you see the petiole, okay, and herbaceous stems also. The monocotyledonous plants, which will never develop woody stem, but they also need some kind of strength and flexibility. So these are the places where you will find colon-chyma. Even the plants which become woody later on in their lives, but when they are young, they are not woody. Their stem is green and herbaceous. So around that time, they are also containing the colon-chyma tissue. Later, when they become mature, this colon-chyma tissue will get crushed, and that will be replaced by another tissue, which we will do later, and is called as the that will be called as the sclerenchyma tissue. So here are some images showing the location and the structure of the colon-chyma tissue. So in the first image, you can see it's a microscopic image of the tissue, and this is showing you the cells. So you can see that the colon-chyma cells are not round or spherical as we were seeing in parenchyma. they are slightly angular. You can see at different corners they have angles, like you study the polygons. So there are angles, and it is in these angles that the colon-chyma tissue is accumulated. So in the next second image, you can see the colon-chyma tissue is clearly labeled. You have the epidermis. So right below the first layer of the plant is epidermis, and right below it is the colon-chyma tissue, and inside it you have more tissue. You have phloem and xylem, and then the gap between these phloem and xylem, it is filled up with parenchyma tissue. Then we move on to the next one, which is the image of a leaf. Now why I am showing you here the leaf, because the colon-chyma tissue is present around the veins. Okay, it is present around the quite uh, spread out in the leaf, because if the colon-chyma tissue is not there in the leaf, it might snap and break. So that is why very important to have colon-chyma tissue in green areas of the plant, like the leaf, the petiole. If stem is green, it will need the colon-chyma tissue. Now the last diagram here is that from the celery stem, and again the two black arrows at the bottom are pointing at the angular deposition of the colon-chyma tissue. So this is how you will find colon-chyma. So another figure here, why I am showing you here, so that you can retain it better. So here at the angles again, there is deposition of colon-chyma tissue. This is filled with colon-chyma. This is a part of the celery stem, which celery, sorry, I would not call it a stem, it's a petiole. Celery is a petiole. So it is, if you remove it, cut out a part and just put it under the microscope, you will see deposition of colon-chyma, so which is giving it firmness and stiffness. So remember that celery, the best example for colon-chyma tissue. Okay, since we have talked so much about location and where they are found, we have seen so many images. So probably by now you should be able to guess that since it is present in all these places, its main function is to give support to the plant. I mean, the plants, they keep swaying, they need to stand erect under the sun to absorb the sunlight. So how are they? They are not humans, like having bones inside them that they will stay still and erect. So it is the colon-chyma tissue in green plants, in soft and tender parts of the plant. It will not be in tall trees. So when you are looking at a huge tall mango tree, you please do not say that it is because of the colon-chyma. Definitely it's green plants, like the leaves and the petioles will have colon-chyma, but not the bark. In small plants where the stem is green, they are tiny tender plants, there they will have colon-chyma tissue in their stem. So that's one point, that they give support. And when they give support, definitely they will give structure also. They give mechanical strength and flexibility. So flexibility is very very important word, because it is mentioned in your NCERT books also. Flexibility, why? Because when the plants sway, they move from one side to other side in the wind, then the winds, it could be very strong, or it could be a storm. So these plants, they do not break so easily because of this colon-chyma tissue present. They will sway from one side to other, but they will not break. So where is the strength coming from? The strength is coming from the colon-chyma tissue, and at the same time it gives them the flexibility. So what is the function? Gives support, structure, mechanical strength, flexibility to petioles, leaf veins and stems. Then it will allow them to bend without breaking. For example, if you have noticed, I'm sure all of you have witnessed storms many a time, especially around rainy season. So when you see the storm coming, you see the plants start to sway from one side to the other once, and in different direction, but it will not break no matter how strong the wind is. So this is because of the colon-chyma tissue. The colon-chyma tissue is allowing it to bend but not letting it break. Then the stretchy properties of the strands of celery. So if you have had celery, you must have seen the strands. They come out of it very easily. So those are the greatest example of colon-chyma tissue. So pretty easy to remember. So this is what the colon-chyma tissue was all about. Now let's talk about the cells. What are they like? So let's move on to the next part of this video. So let's talk about the composition of the cells in the tissue. So first thing that you will notice that they are angular cells. They are not spherical or oval in shape. They are slightly angular. The intercellular space is to the minimum. You might not even see the space in the cells. So almost lacking or very minimal in the cells. The next thing you can notice is that the cells are living. It is green, the green color wherever the protoplasm. It mentions here it has the cell wall. Within the cell wall, if you have protoplasm, that means the cells are living. Then you can see that at every angular this thing, wherever the cell wall is angled, there's a slight angle, you will see the thickened corner. So this is where you will find thickening, and they will give that extra support, the flexibility, as well as the mechanical strength. You will see that it is not covering the entire cell wall. There are certain spaces. So this is how the cells are arranged. The cell walls are thick, and they are composed of hemicellulose, cellulose, and pectic material. So let us quickly recap what colon-chyma tissue is all about. So first thing, the flexibility in plants is due to another permanent tissue, which is colon-chyma. Secondly, it allows bending of various parts of a plant, like the tendrils, stems, leaves, and also in stems of climbers without breaking it. It also provides mechanical support, especially when we see in the case of the plants with herbaceous stem, tender stem. We can find that this tissue in leaf stalk is present below the epidermis. The cells of this tissue are living, elongated, and irregularly thickened at the corner. So don't forget that they are also living, just like the parenchyma tissue. These cells are also living, but they may be thickened, like I showed you that they are thickened in the corner. So don't forget that. Then there is very little intercellular space. You can go back and watch the video where I was showing you the cells, and you will find that there is very little, or the intercellular space is almost absent. So that's all about the colon-chyma tissue.